All
Great.
good, Sam.
Happy Friday and welcome to our conversation with Sahil Dhingra of deepreal.com. He was voted the People's Choice of January on the demo night in January a week ago. And so it's lovely to have a chat with you, Sahil. And we also have Stuart Noakes, who's the co-founder of Canopy Community, who organises the monthly demo nights that we host at City St George's, University of London. So we're going to have a 5-minute conversation to find out a little bit more about Sahil and a little bit more about demo night. So let's just start with some introductions. Sahil, tell us who you are and a little bit about your background.
Thanks, Sam, for that. So I'm Sahil. I'm the co-founder and CEO of DeepReal. DeepReal is a text-to-video AI startup that makes lifelike AI avatars of people by cloning their face and voice, with their permission, of course. And then these avatars can be used to make videos in over 30 languages from any text source. So whether it's a blog post, prompt, or a PDF document, you can convert that into a ready-to-share video in minutes.
Wow, that sounds brilliant. And what's your background? What's enabled you to create this little startup company?
Yeah, so I actually come from a non-tech background, and I was in investment banking sales for over 12 years. But then back in 2018, I decided I want to rebuild my career in AI. And so I quit my job, went back to uni, aka City University of London, for my master's in data science and machine learning. And that allowed me to rebuild from the ground up and build a career in AI.
So this has been a long time in development, would you say? A strategic change of direction. Yeah. Then you went and got yourself qualified. And where did the idea for the avatar generation come from? Had you always had that, or were you just being opportunistic?
Yeah, good question. So I went back to uni, and my favorite subject at uni was computer vision. It was something that I got my top score in, and I loved every single bit of it. It came intuitively to me. I could understand how things work well. I did my master's thesis in computer vision and reinforcement learning, and this is back in 2019 when something called deepfakes were starting to become popular. They were gaining traction, at least in the AI community, and they were starting to become popular on social media too. And what made me wonder was what good could come out of it, right? Like,
nice. I like that
just could
pivot.
not
That's
understand.
Great.
I just could not understand what good could come out of it. But at the same time, back in 2019, Netflix started pushing out these foreign language TV shows like Lupin and Money Heist. And they were being released with really horrible dubbing. Great TV shows, horrible dubbing. And then it just clicked, like, why not use deep fakes for good to do movie dubbing or video dubbing? And so that was actually the synthesis of the idea behind DeepReal, and the name also comes from it's a play on deep fakes. So DeepReal mean the most realistic deep fakes, but in video, so real. So that's
deep fakes for good would have been a clunkier alternative title, but I think DeepReal is yeah. So Stuart, you're the founder of Canopy Community. Can you tell us what is demo night?
So demo night is like the highlight of every month for me and has been for nearly a decade, right? So it's where we bring together all the different elements of the community to really help founders like Sahil and be critical friends. So it's not a pitch night. It's not the I am awesome presentation that you get in a lot of these events. This is a demo night and Sahil personified it absolutely perfectly in January. He got up there and he told his story and he gave a real life, very bravely, a real life in the moment demo of how DeepReal works. And he started a dialogue with the audience, and he got questions and he got feedback, and he got some of that was critical and some of that was supportive. And he started to see in his peripheral vision what other people saw. And the main objective behind the whole thing in Demo Night is really simple. The number one reason that startups fail, that founders like me and Sahil screw up, is because we build stuff that we think is awesome and everybody else doesn't care about. They just don't want it or need it. So we're dissolving that issue basically through crowdsourcing, and we have been doing for a decade in all sorts of places, in Boston, in Bangalore, in London, and Lisbon. And the greatest thing that I've come to admire about Demo Night as a whole is that actually everybody learns, not just the founder. So we use a bit of a phrase, which is from an author that I picked up a little while ago, but it really is that the person who hears the question, who receives the question, learns from the question. The person who asks the question learns from actually trying to think about it. And the people that watch the questions are now thinking in a different way as well. So over time, when running these consistently in an ecosystem, the beautiful thing to see is that everybody grows. It floats all boats to be doing this regularly. So, and Sahil is a great example of a good founder doing this really well. Like, he very bravely stood up there and just said, I'm going to show you how this works in real time, in real life, not canned, not recorded. Let's just see how it goes. And then there was a little bit where it sort of paused for a bit too long. And he's like, I'll just do something else while that happens. And I'll just sort of manage the audience a little bit. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
You were a man in control of your technology, Sahil, you know, and that's always when somebody sort of freezes in that moment and doesn't know which button to press, that can lead you when you're in the audience to have less confidence. But if somebody just takes it in their stride and says, right, well, we'll just leave that and come back to it in a minute, you sort of feel, oh, okay, I'm in safe hands. The guy knows what he's doing. He understands his tech. I have another question for you, Stuart, because you pulled me up on this just before we started recording. How is Demo Night different from a pitch? Now, before you answer that, I was in Lisbon recently at Web Summit, which is a very, very large tech conference. And there were lots and lots of sort of pop-up pitch events where founders were encouraged to give a 5-minute pitch of their event. And one of the guys hosting one of those stages said right at the outset, never pass up an opportunity to pitch your business idea. The more you pitch, the better you'll get at it. And then when you come to pitch, when it really counts, you'll be super slick. But Demo Night's not a pitching event, is it? So can you explain the difference?
I guess the biggest difference is the expectation before you begin. Demo Night, you're expecting to learn. Pitch, you're expecting to win. You're expecting to win the money, win the moment, win the audience, you know, and it tends to be the I am awesome pitch, the transmission. Everything about Demo Night is a dialogue.
Great. So it's an attitude thing then.
Absolutely.
Is that what you felt? Sahil, did you feel it was different from doing a standard pitch event? Have you done many pitch events?
I have done some pitch events, but yes, I think to me, I think Demo Night is a bit more relaxed. It's an opportunity to showcase your product and get feedback, and I think that's just wonderful. It's like, I mean, that's what all founders need, and that's what Demo Night gives. So for me, it was a very relaxed thing. I didn't have to do any prep for it.
You just had to be you, right?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a good point, that you can go in relaxed and it helps to build your confidence as a founder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the Demo Night that you were at, Sahil, is hosted by City Ventures, which is part of City St George's University of London's startup incubator service network. And you don't have to be a student to get involved in it. Anybody within the City of London, or in fact in the wider London area, can come and access the workshops and the consultancy and apply to be on Demo Night. Stuart, what's the relationship between Canopy and City St George's University of London?
It's very much a collaboration and a partnership that's been running for nearly a year now. And what we've been trying to do is bring the influence of the things we've done elsewhere, the experience from Boston and Bangalore, the work that I've done with Bristol Set Squared, and to bring that in to support the ecosystem at City. And between us, we're now creating a whole new path, a whole new journey of building that ecosystem in London, using some of these great things that we've done elsewhere, but building a whole new unique approach in London. and trying to keep everything as open house as possible. That's I think one of the biggest influences that we've brought to City. It's very easy for a university to look at what it's got itself and to look at innovation internally and to look at the startups and spin outs that could happen within. But what we've done is we brought people from Cornwall and from Lisbon and from Bristol and from other places to the stage as well, and shown that there's stuff to learn from elsewhere. And that stuff has also had influence from London and from City University and taken it home as well. And that's been really interesting. Innovation doesn't happen in a cupboard, it happens with this kind of open mindset.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very inclusive and diverse space that engenders a real sense of community and safety and psychological safety for exploration. Sahil, how did you hear about Demo Night and how did you come to be presenting your startup?
Yeah. So super easy. I'm based out of Venture Space because I graduated from City, and I met Stu at Venture Space right at the start of Canopy's relationship with City. So Stu and I have been in touch for a while, and yeah, heard about Demo Night directly from the man himself.
Is that normal, Stuart? How do you choose the startups that you select for Demo Night exposure?
Yeah, so I mean, there's many different ways we look at this stuff. One of the and it seems really strange and really trite, but one of the main criteria for picking somebody to be on the stage at Demo Night is that they want to be there. This is not an indentured moment. This is somebody who wants to embrace the opportunity, and we sometimes go and try and convince people to be up there, but we only put people on the stage who want to be there. They are therefore going to do better. They're going to get more from it, and they're going to give more as well. And one of the reasons I'm really pleased that Sahil took it up is that he's what I call a citizen. I absolutely love him in the community because he is receiving stuff that helps him, but he's also giving and supporting and helping other founders as well. And you see that dimension in him every day. And so it's very important to me that he took the stage at some point and kind of brought all of that stuff together. More citizens in an incubator you have, the richer the incubator is overall. And I think it's a mindset that's normally in tech, but every different ecosystem has a different personality. And the sort of one that we want to engender is this kind of collegiate, mutually supportive, floats all boats attitude rather than crawling over each other to be successful. And I think Sahil was a great example of a citizen that helps other people as well as being successful himself.
Oh, well done, Sahil.
Yeah.
You're our poster boy for Canopy and City Ventures. So on the night, I think there was three demos that were given, and you were voted the people's choice. You were the most popular. Yours was the most popular product that was demonstrated on the night. Were you expecting that?
No, I was not expecting anything out of like in from like to be. Um I think being voted people's choice is not that important personally. I'm sorry, it may not sound right or may not come across right, but I think what I mean is that what matters more is that dialogue that Stu referred to and that feedback, and that matters more. And I think getting something out of like getting voted or people liking it is just a is a is a positive thing, but it's not the end objective,
Yes, it's
right?
just a
So
cherry on the icing.
yeah, exactly. So for me, the process and the dialogue is the important piece.
Great. And what's been the response to Deep Reel from your wider experience of showing it to people?
Yeah, I think we're getting lots of positive feedback since our launch back in 2023, July of 2023. We have had about 200,000, over 200,000 people sign up and make videos on Deep Reel. We are connected with Canva and with Adobe. We're the world's first Gen AI plugin into Adobe Premiere Pro. So quite a few. So good feedback. People. Um, I think it solves a critical problem that people do not have the time or skills to do video and or to make videos, and that's a critical problem that we help solve. So I think people like uh, tools that solve that problem for them.
And Sam, you probably don't know this, but Canopy is a user of DeepReal as well. And so, I love it when Sales says things like way back in July 2023, like it was a billion years ago, but I'm sure it feels like that as a startup founder. But we've been using this maybe about 6 months or so. And the main use case for us is MVPing courses. So if we were to put together a course or a knowledge exchange inside Canopy, and we were to bring together different parts of the community and different mentors, set up some sort of filming studio, put it together, script it, this could take literally weeks. And the
Mm.
organization would be quite painful, I've got to be honest. Whereas the last course I used, DeepReal for, I MVP'd as me with the script and the bits of information, use DeepReal to use different avatars to represent different modules or different components of the course, and put it together in about 3 hours in an evening. And that was
Brilliant.
absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. So anybody watching this live stream, if they want to use DeepReal, can they sign up for a subscription, Sahil?
Um, yes, absolutely. They can sign
Where?
up for a subscription on deepreel.com, but I would say you can also just try making a free video. So there's a freemium model, so anyone can sign up and make a couple of videos for absolutely free.
And the Canva integration is really cool as well. I haven't done the Adobe thing, but the Canva thing works seamlessly. Just go into the marketplace on Canva, search for DeepReal, click in, and you can start building things straight away using the off-the-shelf avatars. Or I think it's just under $200, right? So you're on your train an avatar for
Ye-
somebody specifically.
Yeah, it's a bit cheaper now. It's about it's $149, but we're trying to
I,
bring it down to make it as close to free as possible.
I think Stu is actually auditioning for a marketing role in the company right now, Sahil. Just I hope you're taking
No,
note.
no. One of the big things about Canopy is we always try and consume startup services, and we try and use the products that are in the community. Partly because if they're good, well, why shouldn't we? And partly because if we don't eat our own dog food, who else will, right? So we try and embrace it, and then we can give some feedback as well. And this one is a genuine. I'm a raving fan because it works. I'm a raving fan because it's helped, right? I'm not a raving fan just because I think Sahil's awesome, right? This product actually does stuff that's helped us, and we will continue to use it. We have an active subscription, and we'll use it every month.
Brilliant. So what's next for UserHill and DeepReal? Are you on a fundraising journey? Are you trying to bootstrap the company?
Yeah, we have we have raised a funding round previously, pre-seed round. We are going to go back to the market for a seed round in the next month or so. But our main focus is on the product itself and making it even better for our customers. So that's the key thing that we're after.
So if you have an ask
Mhm.
out of this conversation, would it be for people to use the product?
Yes, absolutely. So I would love for anyone listening to this conversation to just give it a spin. Just try making a free video. We on DeepReal. It's super easy. It's designed for basically non-technical people to use it. For anyone who is afraid of making videos or who doesn't know how to make videos or who doesn't have time to make videos, it's designed for that user. So please go try making a video on deepreel.com.
Brilliant. Thank you. And before we leave you, I wonder what one word of advice you would have for someone who's considering taking their idea to market and becoming an entrepreneur, following in your kind of footsteps. What advice would you give them? What have you learned?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is that one should try to validate their ideas in the most non-technical way possible before going out and building things. So that means figuring out strategies to talk to potential users and getting feedback on a product without even building the product. So I think that's the that's the critical part. So that's the advice that I give to everyone that I speak to. So whether it's like going out on social media and putting videos out there, or going to community or networking events and talking about your idea as if it's an existing product, I think that that validating your product or idea from that perspective would allow you to build the right product starting day one, and trying to form a active community and trying to even understand that, so that your users have the same problem that you think they have.
Yeah. Yeah, and that ties right back to what Stuart was saying, which is what Demo Night is all about, is testing your assumptions really in a nice, safe, friendly environment where people aren't going to just shout you down. Stuart,
Absolutely.
what would you say to anybody who's watching this who wants to become an entrepreneur, doesn't know where to start? What should they be doing?
They should be talking to other founders, really. I think it's the best place to go for advice and inspiration. And one of the big mainstays of what we do at Canopy, we believe wholeheartedly in this thing we call close mentoring. So it's somebody who's 18 months, 2 years ahead of you, who can help pull you through that journey. And there are lots of people in the community that will do that online, or do a call with you, but come in person to Demo Night and meet these founders as well. And that will really speed everything up that you're doing. The kind of advice that Sahil's giving you here, if you take that on board, that will save you 6 to 12 months. It really will. And he's telling you that as somebody who's like 2 years into their journey, he's the perfect mentor for somebody just starting. And that kind of inefficiency of not listening to that advice is the sort of pain that so many people go through time after time after time. And that's the reason that startups fail more than 9 times out of 10, is that we keep repeating the same mistakes. This is the lean startup world, right? And if you don't take the approach that Sahil was saying, all you're doing is just making the mistake the book that was published in 2011 is trying to stop you from doing. Right? So come on now, let's get going and grab these founders. If somebody offers their hand to you as a founder and says, I will help, grab that hand and let them pull you through that journey as quickly as possible.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And so anyone can become a member of Canopy and access all of the sort of community building services that you're offering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very easy, and part of our manifesto is that we are a zero barrier to entry. So it doesn't matter if you are a founder who's made 500 million in your last exit, or a person who's just walked in off the street at Demo Night, you're not quite sure what's going on. You receive the same welcome, the same love and attention, and the same opportunities as everybody else. And that's part of our manifesto from the beginning.
That's great. And it's the same with City Ventures. Anyone can have a look at the events that are being offered by City Ventures. Stuart is a consultant and runs some of the classes, don't you, Stuart? Some of the
Yeah, and everybody who gets the startup support package has the option to become part of the virtual incubation at Canopy as well. That's all bundled in as part of the wrapper, and that means they get access to our full global community as well as the local community inside City.
Great. So you can find City Ventures at cityventures.co.uk. DeepReal is deepreal.com. Canopy, where do we find Canopy, Stu?
Canopy.community.
Canopy.community. So I'd like to say, Sahil, we'll be watching your journey with interest. You may well be the first tech billionaire I'll ever have the ability to say I know, I've met, because I think you're onto a really good thing there. So lots and lots of luck. Stuart, thank you very much for your time. And we're hoping that this will be a regular monthly occurrence where we talk to the Demo Night champion every month. The last thing I should say, Stu, is when is the next Demo Night?
February the 12th. It's always the second Wednesday of every month, and we're looking forward to it. Got 5 startups already lined up to be there. One's coming from Bristol, one's coming from Cornwall, and the other 3 are from London. We're looking forward to it already.
Great. Well, we'll see you then. See you next month, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.